Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you folks are. Today we'll talk about Medicaid planning. Let's just get right into it. Now, this information is prepared by the Krause Agency, which is a Medicaid planning agency. They are the Krause family, or attorneys, and they help insurance agents and individuals kind of plan for Medicaid and for long-term care. So today's topic is exactly that. We're going to talk about Medicaid planning. Okay, how to get benefits when you are facing the nursing home. A little bit about me. My name is Matt Ragudo. If you're on the retirement planning channel watching this, you would have known that I am a retirement planning counselor and I am certified in long-term care planning. And what I like to do is create strategies to help my clients get their ideal retirement. A lot of times it involves Medicare and kind of figuring out what kind of investments they should transition into. But today's topic is going to be primarily on, again, Medicaid. More about me. I am originally from Hawaii, but me and my wife and 2 kids have moved to Texas, and this is me and my wife at the capital. I enjoy watching tennis. I used to enjoy playing tennis, but hard to find the time to do that. I do currently do stock technical analysis, options trading, and a lot of the more, I guess you could call it, nerdy stuff when it comes to stock market. I have a finance degree, so I am trained traditionally. I guess you could call it like fundamentally. But when it comes to trading and stock market day-to-day stuff, I completely put that aside and put on my technical analysis hat and just watch charts and volatility. Now, long-term care. The average cost of long-term care, as you can see, is quite expensive. It's about $90,000 a year. Many people can't afford that, especially if only one spouse is in the nursing home and the other spouse has to deal with funding this other spouse's care. Average stay in the nursing home is 2.3 years. And little known fact, Medicaid actually pays for more than half of all the long-term care costs in the US. So it's not uncommon for someone who is in a nursing home to actually be on Medicaid. Okay, so a little bit more about Medicaid. Medicaid is a joint federal and state health insurance program. Medicaid provides assistance to individuals with limited income and resources, and they pay for the entire room, board, pharmacy, and incidentals when someone is in a nursing home. To qualify, though, you must meet certain financial as well as non-financial criteria, and we'll go into that just here in this next slide. So the non-financial requirements is you need to be a U.S. citizen or qualified alien. You have to be age 65 and older, blind or disabled, and you have to reside in a Medicaid-approved facility. So those are kind of the major non-financial requirements that you have to meet. And then, of course, the financial requirements is you have to have income below the cost of the facility, and your total countable assets are below the individual resource allowance, or if you are married, they have to be below the community spouse resource allowance for the spouse who's outside of the nursing home, the community, the spouse living in the community. Now, how Medicaid counts assets is you have an exempt assets, which is your primary residence, 1 vehicle, personal property, and final expense trust. Now, personal property is kind of more like the couch and things like that you wouldn't normally convert easily into cash. And then the countable assets are things that are easily converted into cash or are looked at as cash, and that's bank accounts, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, anything in an IRA, tax-deferred annuities, secondary property over vehicles. In regards to my last comment about the IRA, some states don't count IRA assets, but most do. So keep in mind that just because you have an IRA, it probably is a countable asset. Now, the other provisions are what's called Maintenance needs allowance. So if you're married, the community spouse, the spouse who is living in the community, if their income is below a certain amount, they can receive some of the other spouse's income to ensure that the spouse at home can continue to live comfortably. It's like so that you don't impoverish the spouse in the community. In addition, there is a resource allowance as well, so that if one spouse has more resources in their name, they can actually transfer some of that money to the other spouse, so that the institutionalized spouse or the spouse in the Medicaid approved facility can shift some of that assets over. Now there's something called spending down, and spending down means that you are eliminating countable assets so that you can qualify for Medicaid, and the spend down process can't be just simply giving away your assets. You have to be smart about it, and the way that Medicaid kind of calculates your eligibility is they assess a penalty. So you can spend down your assets by paying off your mortgage, paying off other debt, purchasing or improving exempt assets like your home. You can buy a house, you can buy a car if you don't have one, household furnishing for the community spouse. You can purchase a funeral expense trust. But what if you still have too many assets and you want to accelerate your Medicaid eligibility? Because again, $90,000 a year is quite expensive. So let's go ahead and figure out how. One of the ways, and one of the most important and most powerful ways, is purchasing what's called a Medicaid compliant annuity. So let's go a little bit about the Medicaid compliant annuity, and then we'll go into how an example of which that it would help the community spouse retain assets and get more income, and then also accelerate qualification for the institutionalized spouse to be qualified for Medicaid. But let's first learn a little bit more about the Medicaid compliant annuity. So it's a single premium immediate annuity that has no cash value and provides an income stream. So this is what we in the industry call a SPIA, or SPIA, single premium immediate annuity. And what this does is it allows you to turn assets into a stream of income, so thereby eliminating these assets from your balance sheet. The Medicaid compliant annuities in their contract language cannot be altered, revoked, or sold. And the annuity must be within the owner's Medicaid life expectancy and provide equal payments. And in most cases, the Medicaid agency must be named primary death beneficiary. So if the Medicaid has any, or if the annuity has any money left in it, that money needs to go toward the Medicaid agency, the state Medicaid agency, and not to a beneficiary like a wife or a husband or a child. All right, so how does this thing work in real life? All right, so here's a case study. Don and Sue, and Don was unfortunately diagnosed at age 81 with dementia. His nursing home cost is $8,000 a month. So they meet with a Medicaid planning attorney or a Medicaid planning agent and figure out what can be done. So we have to count the total countable assets, both Sue's monthly income and Don's monthly income. Keep in mind now they have at this time Social Security, potentially a pension. And then we have to calculate the cost of care. So let's first determine the spend down amount, and let's take a look at how much qualified or countable assets that this couple has. So they have about $300,000 in assets, countable assets. Sue, in the state that she lives in, can keep $126,420, and Dawn can keep $2,000. The $2,000 is usually adapted by all the states. This is how much the institutionalized spouse can keep in their bank account, while the community spouse can keep that $126,420. And so the amount of spend down that they have to meet is $171,580. This is the amount that Medicaid is going to penalize them for, that they are required by Medicaid to use for Don's care, the husband who's in the nursing facility. So what is an alternative, and how can we use a Medicaid compliant annuity to accelerate this process? And this is how. So Sue spends the entire spend down amount of the $171,000 into a Medicaid compliant annuity. Now her Medicaid life expectancy is 10 years, well 10.35 years, or 124.2 months. And this is the payout term of her annuity. So the monthly payout is $1,430. The primary beneficiary is the state Medicaid agency, and the secondary beneficiary are the two children. How does this work when they're applying for Medicaid? So, because she eliminated the assets amount, she has no spend down to meet. Now Sue's income went from $1,200 to plus $1,430, which is the Medicaid compliant annuity payout, and Sue's total income is now $2,630. Now let's look at Don's income, because they're going to look at both of these folks' income to make sure that it's, it meets the Medicaid rules, Medicaid eligibility rules. So Sue's minimum monthly income, that's the MMNA, that's how much income that she is allowed to have being outside in the community while having a Medicaid eligible spouse in the nursing home, is $3,161. This depends on the state you live in, which is why you need to make sure that when you ask for help, you disclose your information, especially the state you're living in. Sue's total income, as we've calculated in the prior slide, was $2,630. She actually can get a bump in income shift from Don's income of $531. Now we see Don's income at $2,000 minus that $531 minus Don's personal needs allowance. And the personal needs allowance is the income that the person inside the nursing home can receive monthly. And that's how we find out how much of the Don's income will go toward his care, his copay. And you can see his copay now is not $8,000, it is $1,419. So what are the rules if you did something like this? And what are the economic results? Well, Sue's income will increase now to $3,161 per month. So she has the income that she needs to continue living comfortably in the community. The couple who expected to pay $8,000 a month for Don's care now are only paying $1,419 for Don's Medicaid copay, which saves them $6,581. Now, if they didn't do anything, Don and Sue would have exhausted their spend down in about 21 months before Don was eligible. So as you can see, the Medicaid compliant annuity not only helped boost Sue's income, but it also helped Don become eligible for Medicaid much sooner. It preserved a lot of the income that they had and also the assets. Sue was able to keep that $126,000 and not have to use it for the spend down. 21 months, 21 times $8,000 is quite a lot of money. They would have spent that $171, but now they can go ahead and qualify for Medicaid sooner and save and have a much more, I guess you could call it, nice way and a predictable way so that Don's care could be taken care of by Medicaid and gave them a much smoother outlook as far as their financial future. So if you have any questions, please contact me. My information is down below. I hope this helps kind of do planning. This is a different style of video I'm doing, but I hope you like it. See you in the next one.